Hey girl, Marissa here. You are listening to the Codependummy podcast. As a young woman, you have been raised, reinforced, and rewarded for putting the needs of others above your own. That is, for being codependent. Now in your 20s, you're exhausted, exasperated, and enveloped in crap relationships, especially the one you have with yourself. This podcast is to help you undo all that so you can stop playing small and start taking up space, you dummy. Let's get to it. All right, today we are back with the Codependummy dilemma, where a brave listener comes on for live coaching to talk through an area in her life where she is being a codependummy, and we can work through it in hopes that she can shine like a codependent diamond, right? We're not going for some goal where we're just completely independent, screw everybody. We have to maintain relationships with others, but we can be shining within them. So welcome Michelle from Alberta, Canada, a listener of the show.
Hello.
Hello. So we have corresponded in some emails, and Michelle's making a face. Her dog is in the background, right? This is life, you guys, like real life. I don't know if you heard the episode with Rex walking around the background. Oh my God, Michelle. So yeah, we're good.
Hope is knocked, like when someone knocks on the door, I think because I said hello, she was like, who's here?
Got it. What's her name?
That one is Ginger.
Ginger. Hi,
She's
Ginger.
Dash out.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so maybe we'll hear more of her. And so Michelle and I, we've been emailing, and she knows, all you guys, all you listeners know, we're getting used to this. This is codependency coaching. So this is not therapy. It's an adjunct to your therapy. Everybody, I just told Michelle I have therapy after this recording. We're all getting the help we need and also benefiting from this codependency coaching, right? I'm going to help Michelle talk through an area in her life where she's putting the needs of others above her own, maybe caring too much about what other people think as opposed to what she thinks, or having a hard time creating and maintaining boundaries. So Michelle, let's start with getting to know you better. What is one way that you were raised, reinforced, or rewarded to put the needs of others above your own?
When I was a kid, I was the oldest on both sides, the first cousin, the first niece on my dad's and my mom's. And then as years goes by, I'm the oldest cousin, and I was put on kind of like a pedestal in a sense where everyone was looking up to me, and I was told by multiple aunties and uncles, family members, that I was an example to everyone. So I had to be the good girl.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Right.
A lot of pressure.
Can you think of some examples where you really were put on that pedestal?
Just every time, like just from even like a kid, just not fighting in front of them, or like agreeing, like sorry, I get all rambly. Just worrying about how I talk to my parents or aunties, uncles, being the good girl, showing the example, doing the dishes, chores without asking, kind of thing. I got married first and divorced first, so it's just a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And already just thinking about it, the tears are forming.
Yeah.
Right? Because for you, Michelle, and so many listeners, right? It's painful. It is painful for us to look back and think of that little girl, right? That 4-year-old, 8, 12, 24, where right? It's hard to look back and recognize how being that good little girl, right, being put on that pedestal,
Yeah.
it's so lonely up there, right? And I recall too, in my journey to healing, I remember going to a workshop and the speaker, she said, do not put me up on a pedestal. There's some quote like a pedestal is as much a prison as like a space with four walls. And I really botched that. But she was saying, like, you are going to put me in a little box if you put me on a pedestal and lift me way up. Like, I don't want to be up there. That's a long way to fall. And here you were being the first, and you had to be the role model. No fighting, no talking back, no questioning, right? Putting the needs of elders above your own for being a kid for the sake of, right? Everybody else is going to somehow follow you and keep it copacetic and peaceful.
Yeah.
Right? And so you were raised. How were you reinforced and rewarded for that good girl behavior?
Just by feeling loved by my family, I guess. Always welcomed and loved, and told that I was being a good girl, and proud of you.
Right. So the taps on the head, the hugs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a good girl. You're so helpful. You're
Yeah.
such a good role model. And you're like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Right. So, and loved, right? Who's gonna fight against or risk losing love?
Yeah.
And fast forward to being a young woman, how has this pattern of being the good girl, getting the pats on the back, on the head, how has that left you exhausted, exasperated, or enveloped in shit relationships?
That pretty much is exactly what I'm doing, or was doing, I guess, now that I'm more aware. I married at 25, and I was the trophy wife, the one that had to make sure like everything was going good, nothing was wrong, pretend kind of thing. I would try to make it work with my ex, and he would say nothing was wrong, it was me, go to therapy, I don't need help. So I just had to keep that mask on, and it felt normal when there was more. I felt more safe when there was more people around, so we always had people over. So it was just my way of doing stuff for other people, and that kept me busy. So hosting and not working on myself, basically, it took less time for me. Yeah.
Right. So
And to the point
go
where,
ahead.
yeah, no problem. And yeah, I just, to the point where I just couldn't physically do my marriage anymore. Like, I sabotaged it in the end. And then I ended up dating somebody else who was addicted to cocaine. And I never did cocaine, but I enabled him in a way, because I allowed him to feel comfortable doing what he was doing, because I loved him and he just was working on it, and I trusted and supported him through it. At the end, that was just enabling him, and it was best that we didn't stay together.
Right.
And now,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, no. Keep going.
Yeah, now I'm in a relationship with a family. I never had a kid, but I have a kid with this man, and they're lovely, but it's a lot of work. And I need to find that balance, or else I feel like I'm going to do that thing again where I overwhelm and then I leave, and I don't want to leave.
Mm-mm. Right? So these patterns, despite some changes, right? Wherever we codependummies go, there we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to reflect back and summarize, right? Exhausted.
Yeah.
You physically could not maintain your marriage.
Yeah.
Like, what did that feel like? Fatigue? Were you sick? What
Yeah.
was the exhaustion?
I overate. I ate lots. So I did
Mm-hmm.
things the way. There'd be days where I just stay in my room. I just needed to just let everything go and just not do anything.
Right.
Or I'd fill my days so much with soccer, friends, people coming over. I just overwhelmed it, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was so burnt out, very
Right.
burnt out.
Right.
I felt like I almost victimized myself in my head to make myself feel better. Like, I had a hard time speaking my words with my husband.
Right.
I kept it all inside.
Right. So exhausted. And then I'm hearing a lot of literally enveloped in shit relationships. You were just wrapped in unhealthy, uneven, inauthentic relationships.
Yeah. My
Right.
friends, yeah, not real. They were just people.
Right. So with your ex, right, get divorced. Oh, hello, cocaine addict. How are you? Like, right? And I've mentioned relationships, segment series, they are coming up. But yeah, I joked, I think in a couple episodes thus far, like you could put a blindfold on me and I was gonna sniff out the alcoholic, just like like where is he? Because that just, my codependummy heart, like, give me an addict or an alcoholic, like that will just really just cross all my codependent check marks. So enveloped in a shit relationship with him, and here you are noticing patterns and wanting not to repeat the same enveloped in shit relationships. And also I'm hearing you were exasperated being the hostess, being super busy, but dissatisfied and frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is our experience as codependummies, right?
Yeah.
Being raised, reinforced, and rewarded to put the needs of others above our own, and the toll it takes as we become adults.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing those. Right? Like painful. And also, I do hear the awareness, right?
Yeah.
I hear the sight you're starting to have, as opposed to just, why does this keep happening to me? You're like, this keeps happening.
Yeah. It's really nice to finally kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
I was compared to like a 3D puzzle. Now I actually see the image coming out. Before I knew it was there, but I didn't know what it was. And now I see it, it's definitely easier, but it's still challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have some deep feelings about my past that I need to deal with.
Right. Which you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So everyone, I'm telling Michelle, so put your hand up like this and then cross your chest and then tap your back. Good job, Michelle. Right. That little girl, she needs to recognize her own, right? Putting her needs first.
Yeah.
Good job. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, hearing yourself and ways codependency continues to show up in your day to day life, what is one problem, concern, area that you want to talk through today?
I think I'm gonna talk about my weight. I'm really hard on myself for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would try really hard, but I would give up on myself really quickly. Like, I got all the books, I can tell you anything about weight loss, but me actually applying it for myself is not there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to talk about your weight. And, right, you're like, I know all the things, as most of us do, right?
Yeah.
We all know. But despite reading all the things, knowing what to do, logically, rationally, there's just some block with implementation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do walks, like I'll do walks and stuff, or I'll do my workouts. It's just I will eventually just give up. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
the longest I did was a year, and I was doing pretty good. But then I started dating again, and that became not important anymore. And
And
then,
go
I'm
ahead.
overweight more than I was before. So it's just it's frustrating, and I feel like I do need probably some mental help with it, because it's like a self-sabotage myself. I overeat, and I know it's not good for me to do it, but I still do it. And embarrassingly, I'll do it in front of people, like constantly eating. And it's like I know I'm not, like, it's there in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hearing a couple things, you want to lose weight.
I want to feel better about myself. I want to be happy with the way that I am, but at the same time, I want to be healthier, because I'm not a healthy weight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be like the best shape of my life, but at the same time, and more energy, like feel good in my clothes, just comfortable with myself.
Right.
I'm probably 70 pounds overweight, but if I was 30 pounds underweight, I'd be like way happier with just
Mm-hmm.
in a good space. Yeah,
Hopefully. Right.
hopefully.
We
Yeah,
we
that's
know.
what you said. You're always gonna bug yourself, right? Hopefully not anymore. Hopefully.
And so, right, right, I was like, you want to lose weight. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
actually, I want to be happy in my body, more content with myself along those lines, and healthier,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're those three things, or if you're those first two things, the self sabotage, the eating, in public, and shame, all of that just won't be as present, because it sounds like it's a domino. If you're discontent with yourself, unhappy with yourself, food, right? Added bonus if you lose 30 pounds. But
Yeah.
again, yeah, I know in the past when I've been down, I've been miserable. And when I've been up, I'm like, things aren't so bad up here. Like, because
Yeah.
of how I was feeling internally.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell us more about this year pre-dating. What worked that year?
I had a job where I worked 1 week on, 1 week off. in Fort McMurray. And then the 1 week home, I got to see, like, it was a week completely off. Like, it was like my weekend, basically. And on my week that I was at work, I would work. I had like a schedule that set things, and I think that helped me. So work, work out, eat, sleep, work, work out, eat, sleep. It was just like a routine. When I was home, it was more like go see everybody, busy, busy, busy. But at least I made that week for myself in a sense. It made that a lot of time for me. And that's probably why now it's just because I don't have that routine for myself.
Mm-hmm. Were you single that year?
Yeah.
For
2.5 years. Yeah. 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 Didn't have to care for anybody else, I guess.
Right? You weren't preoccupied by some cocaine addict.
Yeah.
Or being the hostess mostest with your ex and all the people to, right, unconsciously avoid the issues in the relationship. So say more, what was that like for you to really be alone for a year?
I had a few panic attacks, and very big cries at work. I lock myself in the office sometimes because it's hard being alone and not having, because I actually had to deal with my own feelings. Yeah. But getting that routine was very helpful for me because it was something that I could control.
Right. So it's lonely.
Yeah.
Right. What's a codependent to do without another to depend on, take care of?
Yeah.
So panic.
Yeah.
Crying bouts.
Yeah.
And also your weeks off, Michelle.
It was everywhere.
What?
I was everywhere on my weeks off. I was like binging, my friends, drinking. Like I was getting it all in that week before I went back to work, I guess.
And then when you were back at work, like this militarized, routined, healthy, single woman.
Yeah.
Not dating.
Yeah.
Right? Extremes.
Yeah, exactly. Very no balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing like the dilemma we're working through is as you're talking, like if we're at a fork in the road between this option or this option, right? I'm hearing weight, exercise, being happy with myself, taking care of myself while in a relationship. What do you sense the dilemma is?
It's either me or them kind of thing.
Say more about that. What's me?
Self-care.
And what's them?
They're more important in my eyes, I guess.
Who are they?
Family, friends, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, potentially the dilemma is how do I prioritize self-care while in relationship, especially an intimate relationship? Because it sounds like when you weren't in one, there was some manner, way that you were able to prioritize self-care, even if it was only on your weeks you were working. So how do I prioritize self-care while in an intimate relationship and prioritizing those who matter most to me?
Probably schedule.
Right? But like that's the dilemma. Michelle's codependummy dilemma. Like you can't figure it out. You're like, I have no idea. I have no idea how to do this. Okay. So how to prioritize self-care while dating, being a friend, right? You said their family.
Yeah.
And you did say anybody. So maybe we'll somehow figure out how to not prioritize anybody. Right? How to have that self-care in relation when you're in relation with others. Thus far, you haven't been able to do it.
No.
Okay. Well, you already started answering it before I was able to formulate the question. You said probably schedule. How come very intuitively you said probably schedule?
My dad, when I was young, was always about scheduling and making the time in the day, like time management, basically, to get us to right when we would read, when we would have our TV time, do our homework throughout the day. We got to choose when, and as long as it got done. And I found that was really helpful for me when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were saying that, it just kind of reminded me of that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Right? And connecting to that year that you were single, those times you were working, you were very scheduled and able to do it for a whole year, Michelle. That is some sustained, healthy habits.
Yeah, it's easy when there's no distractions, so.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, right. And I'm also appreciating your dad's flexible schedule, right? Yeah. So you have some autonomy, you have some choice. If you guys want to watch TV first, you can watch TV, but then you also need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you said it was easy because there were no distractions. Okay. So, what are your current distractions? Typical week.
Typical week. Rylan is our 10-year-old, so my boyfriend has a 10-year-old. So in the morning, I would drive Rylan to daycare or school. Then I would go to work and come home. There's supper. If we have time, I'll walk the dog. I know that sounds really bad. We should walk the dog more often, but we'll try to make the dog walk. But then we got reading for Rylan and bedtime, and then try to have some kind of time together with Brad and I, and then bed, and then it's repeat.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday. And then there's sometimes I'll have a side job, like my friends will need some help with, I'm a plumber, so I'll go help their sink or a hot water tank for a parent or something. And yeah, it just, the nights fill up pretty good. Mm-hmm. Wednesdays I try to hula hoop with my girlfriend. I've been making a point of spending some time away from home.
That sounds so fun.
It's actually really fun. I'm not very good at it, but it's killing. Yeah, try moving your hips when you're not used to sharing yourself with anybody. But it's really good. Yeah, it's getting there.
Okay. So, right? You said that year was easy because you didn't have distractions. And here you are, March 20, 20 something of 2021. You're like, wow. We wake up and I take Brylan
Yeah.
to daycare, drop her off, and then you go to work. You pick her up?
Brylan gets picked up by his dad. Yeah.
Okay. He gets picked up and hopefully the dog gets walked. Fingers crossed. And it's reading time, bedtime, together time, quality time with your boyfriend, Monday through Friday. Sometimes you get a text or call from someone. Hey, Michelle, can you use your plumbing experience and help us? You go, oh, sure. So you go over there and your nights fill up. One day a week you hula hoop on Wednesdays, but your days are filled with Brylan, work, helping other people with their plumbing needs, and maybe an occasional dog walk and hula hooping.
Yeah, I try to dog walk as soon as I get home. Like I'm still in my work gear and just go and do it because then they're satisfied and I'm glad that they get to go for a walk. And then sometimes Wednesdays is like only twice a month or something, or move to Friday just because the week you get so tired in the middle of it. And she's okay with moving it too, so we just kind of make it work. We probably get together twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Twice a month. So twice a month you hula hoop, and daily you really make a concerted effort to walk the dogs. But I do hear a lot of being in service, being in relation, right? Like spending time with your boyfriend, his child, work, plumbing needs.
Yeah, I like doing these things while I'm doing them. It's just I want more time for myself, if that makes sense, because I've got all these books I need to read for help.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
What doesn't make sense about wanting time for yourself and purchasing books and wanting to read the books you've purchased?
nothing.
No. Okay. How long have you been with your boyfriend?
3 years.
3 years. So for 3 years, it's been like this more or less?
Yeah, probably, yeah. 2.5 years, probably.
Like what was going on the first 6 months?
I was still doing my out of town job, and then once I was in a family relationship, I felt that it was important to be more around the family. So we dated for probably 9 months, 6 months, yeah, before I met Brylan. So it was probably more than 2 years, not three, because I got a different job probably 9 months in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And what ideally would your self-care entail 5 days a week? Ideally, what, like, just just take the schedule and set it aside. Ideally, what would you want? What would be enough for you to feel sense you would feel happy and content with yourself?
If now, like right now, I think I'd like to do something. I'm not sure how many days a week, but I'd like to do something towards my physical health, something towards my mental health, and some just time for my friends and just for me.
Mm-hmm. So physical health, mental health, and social health.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's like a good balance and everything would be nice, but yeah.
Right. What would physical health ideally look like?
Well, I used to play soccer, so once this pandemic is better, I was hoping to join a soccer team, and that would probably be like once a week. Uh, Walking the dogs, so the dogs also get walked, but also I get to do my walking podcast listening time, and um, I get sidetracked to what we're talking about. My brain goes somewhere else. I can't remember everything else, but yeah.
Right. Ideally, you sense you would feel happy and content with yourself if do the dogs need to get walked every day?
I would like them to walk every day. I feel bad they're in the house all day with us. On the weekends, they are with us anyways, but at the same time, I'd like them to go outside and
What?
be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right? Like 20-30 minutes every day.
Deal, yeah.
Okay. So ideally, Michelle, you want,
Mm-hmm.
right, this dilemma. How do I maintain self-care while in relation to all these people?
Mm-hmm.
Scheduling,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who knows? I don't know when soccer's going to come back. But
Yeah.
right now, you want to take care of yourself, also take care of your animals. Does Brylan go on the walk? Does your boyfriend go on the walk?
Sometimes Brylan will come with me, which is good
Sometimes.
time.
Yeah. So Brylan can, join. And like, what is like the minimum amount time wise that you would be content with if you were doing it every day?
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. So 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the ideal.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll circle back to that. What would prioritizing your mental health look like daily?
Maybe some self-help reading and journaling.
Okay. Time
I'd like
wise.
meditation.
What was that?
I'd like to eventually try meditation, but my brain just goes too fast right
Yeah.
now.
Baby
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
Reading the health books you have purchased.
Yeah.
Journaling about I'm sure there's like exercises, or I might have had a really good podcast that week, or, something that came up from therapy, journaling on that. Okay. Ideally, how many minutes, right, would create a sense of happiness and contentment in yourself every day?
40 minutes.
40?
Is that too much?
That,
Is that not enough?
it sounds like a lot. Tell me about 40. What, like, is it like 20 and 20, or yeah, what do you picture?
If I'm reading, like you get into the book, you read, and then just to write about it. It might be not by back to back, but just maybe I could read during the day and then before bed I can journal.
So breaking it up, Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds okay. So 40. Okay. And social health, right? I would say relational, but we got, we got the boyfriend, we got Brylan, we got people. So just socially with your friends,
Mhm.
what do you sense self-care, being content, happy within yourself? How much time, or what would that look like every day?
I probably wouldn't need to see them every day. Like I would be fine once or twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much time
Mhm.
do you sense you need,
Yeah.
right, to feel happy and content within yourself because you're fulfilling that self-care social health need?
In a day or through a week?
Yeah, through the week.
Um, 6 hours.
Okay. And what would you guys be doing those 6 hours?
Hula hooping. Usually when
Hula
I go
hooping?
3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
I get there at like 5, and I usually leave around 8, so I get home around 8:30. And then like a weekend, probably a few hours with friends.
Mm-hmm. Like a coffee, meal,
Yeah, or like
dinner.
fire outside or
Mhm.
whatever the pandemic will allow.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the dilemma. How do I practice self-care while in relationship with all these people? Because for the past 2-ish years, off and on, I've chosen to be in relation and prioritize other people as opposed to prioritizing self-care. And, right, very intuitively, you said a schedule, probably. Yeah, schedule works with my dad. Maybe I should bring that back. And here's your ideal: a 30-minute walk with the dogs, Brylan as a sidekick, you know, if and when they want to go. 40 minutes journaling and reading all of your books. Hula hooping for 3 hours on Wednesdays, and 3 hours of coffee, fire, meal with a friend or friends on the weekend. So it's 6 hours a week. And then, right, a 30-minute walk, 40 minutes of journaling and reading. We'll just say that's another hour. So 13 hours a week.
Seven.
Hmm?
Is it 7 hours or 13?
Well, you're walking,
Yeah.
journaling, and reading for an hour every day.
Yeah, that's 13 hours.
So an hour a day for
Yeah.
you time,
Yeah.
plus 6 hours a week of friend. And like the hula hoop is a twofer, right? You
Yeah.
get physical
That's
and
physical.
social.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hula hooping for 3 hours straight.
No. Okay, let me look. Let me do. So I'm doing some math. So we're usually up like 16 hours a day if we're getting 8 hours of sleep. So
Yeah.
times 7. So there are 112 hours a week that we're technically up, and you're wanting to dedicate 13 of them to you. So that's about 11% of your waking hours.
That's not bad. 10%. 10%.
10%. 10% of your time to you. That's what this dilemma, right? If you chose this path, you're asking for 11% of your time. So then you can feel happy and content with yourself while also maintaining, probably more present, not repeating codependummy patterns with all these other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth it.
Right. So 11% scheduling. And right, it sounds like managing these distractions. I think sometimes I wonder if sometimes the fork or the dilemma is, do I hold and honor my 11%? Do I go for that walk? Do I do that reading? Do I journal those 20 minutes and go hula hooping? Or that person needed help with their toilet. Or Brylan has X project and screw it. Dogs can go tomorrow, right? And that just builds and builds and builds. So what do we do with these distractions?
It's easier said than done. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you work, true or false, you work full time.
True. Pandemic, partially true. Yeah.
And true or false, listeners don't know this, but you want to start your own business.
True.
Which that takes time out of working hours. Okay. You are with your boyfriend. He has a 10-year-old. They have a family. You have friends that you want to spend time with. Like things like people's plumbing needs. Are you the only plumber in your community?
No.
No? Can people call professional plumbers who aren't you, even though you
Yeah.
are one, to treat their plumbing needs?
Yes.
Right? How many hours, like a week or a month, do you sense that that's a distraction?
5 to 10.
5 to 10? That's like a whole week's worth of the self-care, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming up to the end of March. So, right, what if you walk into April like, all right, I just did the Codependummy dilemma segment. I'm gonna work on my schedule, right? And that first week, I don't know, maybe something goes crazy with a bunch of people's pipes and distraction. How does that inhibit, get in the way of you being happy and content with yourself?
Yeah. A lot.
How so?
because I will take that time that I could be spending with myself for other people.
Right? Being that good girl, that role model, being of service, right? Putting their needs above your own, right? Because you're capable. You can do it. You can. You can totally do it.
That's why I do it. That's why I do it, because I can do it.
Right. But do you want to?
No.
Hell no. Right?
Yeah.
You want to read.
Yeah.
You want to walk your dogs, Ginger and whoever.
Yeah.
And listen to podcasts. Start your own business. You know, be present when you're with these people who you care about dearly. And you don't want to be fixing whatever pipes or leaks or faucets or right, there's a whole fleet of plumbers in the area.
Yeah.
So, right, what would that be like for you, Michelle, to really commit, right, in this, you know, at this fork in the road, choosing self-care, right? Like 1-ish hour a day, 13-ish hours a week to yourself, and starting in April, no more plumbing.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be hard saying no, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. It will be, right?
Yeah.
You're that good, capable role model, yes girl. And you're also exhausted, exasperated, enveloped in shit relationships, or you have been. And it's literally weighing on you.
Yeah.
Literally. So if I send you a text, hey Michelle, I don't know, my sink's acting up. Can you stop by after work? Oh. What do you need to remind yourself in that moment? Like, oh god damn it, this is what Marissa and I talked about, and all the listeners, they're gonna be hoping that I'm saying no, and like I want to say yes, I want to go over there, but I also want to walk and journal and read this evening. Like, what affirmation, what post-it, what picture on your phone, like what reminder do you need to say I'm not a plumber anymore?
I don't know. Can I put it just on my forehead and they can read it themselves?
Could get a tattoo.
Yeah. Like I put things on my phone screen and stuff, but it says do more what makes you happy. Although I don't feel like that would be enough for me to say no. Like maybe I can say it just like that. I'm working on a lot of other things right now. I just don't have the time.
Mm-hmm. Which is the truth. So,
Yeah.
hey, I'm working on a lot of other things like my health, my business, my relationships. I can't.
Yeah.
Do you sense? Okay, so that will help, right? Saying no, I'm busy. Some reminder, maybe a new I'm not a plumber wallpaper on your phone. And is there any way you can create some healthy accountability by telling Brylan, your boyfriend, and your hula hooping friend, Like, I'm really trying to prioritize my health and you guys. And so I'm going to be turning down plumbing requests. And I need your support. And I might call you when I have to say no because it's really hard for me to say no.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. Just an extra reminder to help.
And cheerleader, right? You know they're not going to say like, well, you should just go. They'll be like, good, Michelle. You're not a plumber. No plumbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you sense to help with that knee jerk? Sure, I'll head over in a bit.
Don't answer the phone. Just kidding. Just kidding. But maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right, if there's certain, go ahead.
Yeah, like maybe just like see what their message is or their text is, and then take the time to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not respond right away.
Right. Right. And we're at about time, so we need to wrap up. But I'm hearing, right, this dilemma. How do I practice self-care while maintaining these relationships? Right? And we're just gonna experiment. Right? And the experiment is physical health, 30 minutes of walking every day. Mental, reading and journaling for 40 minutes. Social, 3 hours hula hooping, 3 hours on weekends. And then I'm hearing like this like internal health that you want to work on, which is saying no when people ask me to do a plumbing service. Like keeping it that simple. Like you might have other distractions and it might be hard to say no to that, but at least like starting in April, you are not a plumber. You're not. You are, but you are not.
Yeah.
There's a phone book. Oh, maybe that would help too. Is there some cool plumber in your area who you can text people like, call this guy, he's great. Call this girl.
Yeah. I'll ask. Yeah.
So then you're still like
helping, but not helping.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I feel good with that.
Okay. And a reminder, accountability, and a referral. And all the Codependummy listeners who are cheering you on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. And listeners, Michelle and I met. She signed up for the course, Codependummy 101. You guys can sign up at codependummy.com. And please email me any insights, ways you related, or cheering Michelle, and I'll be sure to forward it to her. And we will see you guys next time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hey sis, it's Marissa again. I'm not like a regular podcaster, I'm a cool podcaster, right? Thank you for listening and staying till the end, and know this. If you are feeling unseen, I see you. If you are feeling unheard, I hear you. And if you feel like you don't matter, know that you matter to me. Until next time, be sure to check out codependummy.com for more info about today's episode, my free course, and other resources. Take care. You're still here? Just kidding. Girl, this is not therapy and I'm not your therapist, okay? This podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regards to the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the host, the publisher, or the guests are rendering any legal, clinical, or other professional information. If you want or need a professional, you should find one.